It's 8 a.m. on a Monday. All you want to do is go back to sleep, but you can't skip class again. I'm sure we've all been here. In fact, I felt like this today despite getting over 8 hours of sleep. You may be wondering why this happens. It is likely that I woke up in stage 3 NREM sleep. To better understand this stage, let's backtrack. What is the sleep cycle? The sleep cycle is made up of 4 different repeating stages. Each stage has a different function, but together, their goal is to leave the body feeling refreshed. Although the amount of sleep you get is important, the quality of sleep is important as well. As I mentioned, the sleep cycle is repetitive, but how many times does it repeat? On average, an individual goes through 4 to 6 sleep cycles in one night. Sleep cycles are not identical and even change as the night goes on. The first 3 stages of sleep are considered non-rapid eye movement or NREM, and the last stage is rapid eye movement or REM. Stage 1, also known as N1, is when a person first falls asleep. This stage lasts around 1 to 7 minutes. The body isn't fully relaxed yet, but brain activity begins to slow down. It's easy to wake someone up in this stage, but if they're not interrupted, they will transition into stage 2 quicker. During stage 2, the body enters a more relaxed state. The muscles relax, breathing slows, and eye movement stops. Brain activity slows down, but there are some short moments of activity. These small bursts of activity help ignore external stimuli. This stage can last for about 10 to 25 minutes, but can get longer with each cycle. A person spends about half of their total sleep in this stage. In stage 3, muscle tone, pulse, and breathing rate slow down even more, making it difficult to wake someone up while in this phase. Brain activity during this phase is known as delta waves. This stage is very important for restoration, recovery, and growth. During the early sleep cycles, you spend about 20 to 40 minutes in this stage, but as the cycle continues, these stages get shorter to allow the body to spend more time in our last stage, REM. After about 90 minutes, the brain enters REM, where brain activity picks up. Although dreams can occur in other stages, most dreams occur in this stage, which explains the increase in brain activity. This stage is important to things like memory, learning, and cognitivity. All muscles are temporarily paralyzed besides the muscles that control breathing and the eyes, hence the name rapid eye movement. Rapid eye movement was discovered in 1925 by researcher Nathaniel Kleitman and then further established by a researcher in 1953. He detected REM sleep in a young boy and was shocked at the results. REM sleep contradicted the belief that brain activity decreased during sleep, therefore concerning the researcher. Researchers Loomis, Harvey, and Hobart discovered the stages of sleep, but they looked a little different than they do now. Then, in 1954, they established 5 stages of sleep, which they named after the brain activity taking place in each: alpha, low voltage, spindles plus random, and random waves. In 1959, the difference between REM sleep and NREM sleep was discovered by Michael Jouvelet. He established that brain activity is high during REM and low during NREM. It is likely that the stages of sleep have always been this way, but some changes have been made along the way. Past cultures slept a lot differently than we do. They used to sleep in polyphasic sleep cycles. Polyphasic sleep is several intervals of sleep rather than one large block of sleep. There are several benefits to polyphasic sleep. Although evidence to support this theory is lacking, productivity, alertness, and ability to learn and retain information may increase with a polyphasic sleep schedule. Oftentimes, polyphasic sleep schedules just feel more productive because they're sleeping less during the day. Polyphasic sleep schedules also increase memory and learning. A study shows that napping within an hour of learning new words help children remember the words for up to a week later. Just as polyphasic sleep schedules have benefits, they have negative effects as well. This sleep schedule ultimately leads to sleep deprivation, which can impact a variety of things such as our physical health, mental health, and reduced reaction time. Our bodies struggle to get quality sleep in this polyphasic sleep cycle because melatonin production is irregular. Our bodies release chemicals in a 24-hour cycle. These repeating cycles are circadian rhythms. Melatonin is one of the most important chemicals in this process. It increases in the evening and increases in the middle of the night, letting our bodies know to sleep. It then decreases in the morning, allowing our bodies to wake up. But how do our bodies know when to produce melatonin? It starts in the eyes. Essentially, light exposure prevents the release of melatonin, but lack of light exposure causes melatonin release. Our bodies make melatonin from tryptophan and amino acid. To begin this process, tryptophan is transformed into 5-hydroxytryptophan, then converted into serotonin. These transformations were converted through the action of enzymes, a catalyst that speeds up the rate of chemical reactions. Serotonin is transformed into melatonin by two enzymes. Serotonin N-acetyltransferase converts the serotonin to N-acetylserotonin with an acetyl group, and hydroxylindyl O-methyltransferase transfers a methyl group to an acetylserotonin. Melatonin production depends on the activity of the SNAP, which maxes out when it's dark outside. At night, SNAP is phosphorylated, or in other words, added to a phosphate group, which prevents SNAP from degrading and increases melatonin. In the morning, SNAP is degraded, therefore decreasing melatonin. Sleep psychologists address psychological factors that affect both regular and irregular sleep by developing, testing, and applying evidence-based procedures to not only the treatment of sleep disorders, but also the prevention of sleep disorders. Sleep psychologists have knowledge of several sleep regularities and disorders, such as normal and disordered sleep, sleep physiology, the effects of sleep medications, sleep cycles, sleep changes, deprivation, regulation, interventions for disorders, and treatment monitoring. They address an array of problems, including insomnia, hypersomnia, sleep-related breathing disorders, sleep cycle disorders, parasomnias such as nightmares, bedwetting, sleepwalking, and sleep-related movements such as teeth grinding. They address these disorders through treatment monitoring, but typically give the treatment up to the sleep technologists. They assist sleep specialists in the clinical assessment, physiological monitoring and testing, diagnosis, management, and prevention of sleep-related disorders. They use a variety of tools such as polysomnography, airway pressure devices, nocturnal oxygen screening devices, and questionnaires. These experts prioritize the importance of sleep for our bodies. Without sleep, our overall health may decline. Sleep deprivation can have a negative effect on our immune system, therefore, our ability to fight infection will decline. It can also increase the risk of various medical problems such as type 2 diabetes and heart disease. Lack of sleep can also alter appetite, leading to weight gain. Not only can it have a negative effect on our physical health, it can affect our mental health as well. It can decrease memory, productivity, and happiness, which leads to problems in relationships as well. On the flip side, getting quality sleep is great for our bodies. Sleep provides us with the energy we need to survive and live happily. Our bodies won't work well unless we give them time to rejuvenate throughout the night. Our brains get rid of information we don't need, which essentially improves our memory. It gives us more space to focus on what we need to know. Speaking of what we need to know, let's recap what we need to know about sleep regulation. The sleep cycle is made up of 4 repeating stages: N1, N2, N3, and REM. REM was discovered in 1925 by Nathaniel Kleitman, and NREM was discovered in 1954 by Loomis, Harvey, and Hobart, giving us a better understanding of sleep. Before this understanding of sleep was established, people used to sleep in polyphasic sleep cycles, or multiple sleeps rather than just one sleep. Polyphasic sleep cycles disrupt the production of melatonin, arguably the most important chemical needed for sleep. These irregular sleep cycles can be monitored by sleep psychologists and treated by sleep technologists. Despite their different occupations, they both know the importance of sleep for our bodies. Sleep deprivation can lead to a decline in both physical and mental health. We need sleep for energy, rejuvenation, and memory. Essentially, sleep is one of the best things we can do for our bodies.